Good evening. This is Maestro Cortello with a Dawn of War 2 Retribution Elite modcast. Today we have a 2v2 on Medean Cliff Mines. Our first player right here is Stybek, playing as Sindri, Trollface, Chaos Sorcerer. We actually have a Word-Bearer's Sorcerer here, which you hardly ever get to see. He's got a completely different mask. I actually don't like it as much, but it's still nice to see it, and I bet people probably even forgot that it exists. But the Sorcerer is a defensive hero, defensive spellcasting hero. He has spells like Doom Bolt, which does some long-range damage. He can teleport. He can also get some subjugation abilities to do some mind control. Stybek's teammate is Whitehead 1981. Whitehead is playing as the Plague Champion right here, who is getting shot at by a bunch of shootable-boys. The Plague Champion starts off as a ranged hero. He can be upgraded to a melee hero if you choose to fit him out that way. He can be very good as a melee counter, and he can also heal and repair. So that's the blue team. On the other side of things, we have Dirty Pyrex, who's kind of completely alone and away from the action. Dirty Pyrex is playing as this Green Knight Bro Captain. We have a very red theme going on. He's got like an eye icon on the back, which looks really, really cool. He's about to engage some heretics, but the Green Knight Bro Captain is a tanky melee hero. He will destroy these heretics. He cannot be suppressed or knocked down. He has some pretty good weapon upgrades later on, although I think he's underperforms a little bit in Tier 1. And Dirty Pyrex's teammate is Storm of Steel, this Orc Warboss, this leveled up Orc Warboss who is wearing a truck. He has a bionic eye. He looks really, really fearsome. He is also going to get in on those heretics that the Bro Captain was fooling around with. But the Orc Warboss walks right through cover. He stomps all over things. Also very good as, very, very good as a melee counter, in fact. So this is my third game out of the games that I said of my replay submission honor day. I've had so many replay submissions, and to be honest, a lot of them have kind of fallen by the wayside. So I've tried to pick 3 from my inbox of replay submissions and just go ahead and cast them. Find some good ones and go ahead and cast them. This one was submitted by Whitehead 1981. And we have here, so we have a double chaos team. I'm actually very interested to see what Stybek has up his sleeve. Stybek is another dedicated sorcerer player. Not that there are a whole lot of them, but he is a dedicated sorcerer player. I don't know how... I'm actually not entirely sure how good he is, but I'm still just interested to see what ideas he has and what his style of play is going to be. Stybek has gone for a build that is probably one of the most typical and probably one of the best builds you can make with Chaos these days out of Tier 1, which is the starting Heretic, a CSM, another Heretic, and then the Havoc. You get control, you get range fire, you get the potential for double worship, as well as a lot of melee support. And Inspiring Champion already on one of his Heretic squads, and he's getting in on those suppressed strike squads, and he actually takes out two strike squad models. So far, I like Stybek's play with the Sorcerer, getting in, getting behind some strike squads with his heretics. Pretty good heretic play, just doing what he needs to do, knowing that if he gets in range with those heretics, they're going to be winning, and that's going to force him off. And we did see some Doom Bolts out as well, so certainly Stybek knows the basics, seems to know what he's doing with this hero right now. Potentially could have taken out that Warboss, but I think with how much health he still had, he probably would have survived. So blue team wins that in original engagement. Whitehead goes for a shorter build. He does not get that second Heretic squad. Probably a little bit more optional with the Plague Champion, but I still think for just about any hero, for pretty much any hero, the build that Stybek has gone is actually very, very good. Oh, pretty much the entire Orc force is right here. Unfortunately for Whitehead, he's kind of running straight into suppression, and he already upgrades to the Fetid armor. That seems like a very strange upgrade to a very strange soul upgrade. So some Havocs open fire out of Tzeentch Worship. They do open fire on the heretics. I mean, not on the heretics, on the Brother Captain. But the Brother Captain has got around the firing arc, and he just didn't take enough damage. Unfortunately, Stybek is not in a good position right now. Probably going to lose one heretic squad. He has another one that I think they'll get out of there just fine, although I think maybe Dirty Pyrex got a little overzealous about trying to take out the Chaos Space Marines, and he did take out one model. Oh, and the Brother Captain goes down. But I think the better potential play there was that he probably had a chance to take out the Heretic Squad, and that probably would have been a better play. As it is, Stybek still has his Havoc Squad on the field. I think it actually should have repositioned itself to take care of those strike squads, although they were still forced off by the Heretics. Looks like they didn't lose any models. So in that case, Stybek gained the field presence of... Wow. Really? Stybek actually consumed... I think he consumed one of Whitehead's Havoc models to get energy. So he was obviously really desperate for energy there, that he consumed his teammate's Havoc model, which is not too cheap to reinforce. As it is, this Havoc right here, it finally does get set up and actually start suppressing. Oh, this is going to be really bad. Okay, that's actually going to be, at least that's going to be the save that, it's going to be the save that Whitehead really needed. As it is, I think the Warboss actually goes down. So I was about to say, I thought that Warboss right there was going to wipe Whitehead's Havoc. Luckily, Stybek's Havoc was actually facing the other way and actually actually took out the Warboss. Now, Dirty Pyrex has gone for, this is even for Grey Knights, this is a very atypical build to just get 2 strike squads and that's it. Certainly gives him a lot of pressure, a lot of ability to move forward and pressure things. I think even 2 strike squads, if they were at full health, would actually probably do very well against a single Heretic squad, given how durable they are, and the fact that they actually can do some melee damage. Let's see. We actually already have a quick demon armor on the Chaos Sorcerer, so I'm very interested to see what Stybek is going to do out of that. Now, there are a lot of benefits to that demon armor. First of all is the fact that the damage of Doom Bolts actually scales with the size of the Sorcerer's energy pool, and right there, the demon armor actually now in Elite Mod increases the Sorcerer's energy, and that Doom Bolts that we saw against the Strike Squad did a massive amount of damage. So that's one of the advantages of this. It also gives, because it gives him a higher energy pool, it also works out well with the Rod of Warpfire, since you can use both the Rod of Warpfire and Doom Bolts without having to consume a Heretic. And now we have some Chaos Havocs. Level 2 Havocs. How often do you see that? Level 2 Havocs. Which it's surprising to see that, given that Havocs are the breast. Yeah, that's what I have on my mind. The best suppression team for actually suppressing, but the worst for actually doing damage. And in this game, unlike Company of Heroes 2, you actually need to get kills in order to do damage. So Stybek has gone for a Chaos Dreadnought. This is definitely kind of something that I would do. I like Chaos Dreadnoughts. Both players, in fact, have gotten a Chaos Dreadnought. And the Chaos Dreadnought is really, really good in many ways for Chaos. It is a vehicle, so it has that effect of being a vehicle to your opponent, forcing them to react and respond with some kind of anti-vehicle. And it also, because it does explosive damage with its autocannon as well as heavy melee damage with its melee, it also functions as anti-vehicle. So you kind of get that all-in-one package. You get both your vehicle and your anti-vehicle in one unit. And you get both ranged and melee anti-vehicle. So this Chaos Dreadnought, very, very good in many ways, even compared to a lot of the other walkers for most other races. And right now, I don't think right now the red team does not really have adequate vehicle responses, and that's actually probably going to be a dead Death Dread for Storm of Steel, the combination of the Chaos Dreadnought as well as this Las Cannon by Whitehead. So a good upgrade by Whitehead to get that Las Cannon. The Las Cannon Havoc is really, really good. It's something I've been using a lot lately, something that I almost never used in retail. I started using it a lot in Elite Mod, then I stopped using it for a while, and lately I've been using it again and realizing how incredibly awesome it is. It really does good damage, as well as just having long range, and it's just really just a great vehicle. And wow, we have the Bro Captain right here, just reviving things right in front of these Chaos Space Marines. Chaos Space Marines unfortunately did not do enough. The Bro Captain did lose a lot of health in the process, and he just about might go down here if the Chaos Dreadnought had force meleeed. Unfortunately, late reactions from Whitehead does go for some force melee on the Warboss. So relatively few upgrades. We do have a Bro Captain with a teleporter pack, a Warboss with nothing, Demon Armor, and the Rod of Warfire. So I did say before that that Rod of Warfire combines pretty well with the Demon Armor, since you can do both. You can do both Doom Bolts and Warp Fire without having to consume a Heretic just from that energy pool. Since Warp Fire is actually a relatively expensive ability, I'm embarrassed to say that I don't remember the exact cost, considering I main this hero, but it's either 80 or 85. I would just like to see a little more of that, those things actually being cast. And ooh, we have Stybek going for Icon of Tzeentch. I'm really excited to see that. So far, liking what I'm seeing out of Stybek as well. And we have double cast Dreadnoughts. We have a Tzeentch Dreadnought out of Stybek. So it's definitely playing in ways that I would play. Tzeentch Dreadnought, Tzeentch Marines, Icon of Tzeentch. And we see Whitehead going for the opposite. He's going for the Mark of Khorne. Now, Stybek is going for that Mark of Tzeentch. It's curious to see. Well, I actually think it's a very good choice, given what he's dealing with. I don't know if everybody viewing sees exactly what he could use that on. Very nice by Whitehead, using the Unholy Stench ability right here on the Warboss as a way of controlling him. I wouldn't expect that, but it worked out very well there, preventing the Warboss from getting in on these Chaos Space Marines. And I mean, normally, even the combination of these Tzeentch Marines with as well as the Bile Spear, I really think would not be enough damage to deal with the Warboss. But Whitehead was using the control abilities of the Plague Champion right there. The Unholy Stench as well as that Bile Spear, maybe. I don't know. I don't think I saw much of the Bilious Discharge right there. But we see Dirty Pyrex is not really responding adequately to this Dreadnought. He's actually going to lose his Terminator Librarian. This new Terminator Librarian just straight up goes down. Dirty Pyrex, unfortunately, not having a good day over here. He doesn't even have like Psy Cannons on his Strike Squad. He needs. So this is just what I've been saying. He's like just not really responding to the vehicle, and there are things like I often hate to say that like you have to do this or you have to do that, when there really are ways where, depending on your micro, depending on the decisions you make, there really are a lot of different builds that you can make work. Like for say like a hero like the Sorcerer, right now in current Sorcerer play, it generally is pretty important to get a Havoc, at least one Havoc, especially if you're dealing with a melee hero. It's just really, really important with the way that the Sorcerer is currently played, with the current state of balance in the game. But I just don't want to say things. I often don't like to say things as an absolute, because I like to encourage creativity, like to encourage innovative builds. That being said, I'm trying to say all of that to preface the fact that when you have to deal with a vehicle, if you do not get some kind of anti-vehicle, you are not going to be able to damage it because, or really just not damage it adequately. The piercing weapons from most early ranged weapons have like over a 99% damage penalty to vehicles. And Stybek looks like he wants to get some, he really just wants to get some early pressure because he used the Warp Global not in an engagement, but he just wanted to get his Havocs up here quickly, literally right in the position of the entrance to the middle for Dirty Pyrex. Now, Dirty Pyrex is not really buying the bait. Dirty Pyrex, where are his... He has strike squads. Some are over by Storm of Steel. The rest are... The other one is capping. So Stybek is kind of scouting. Now, one of the things Stybek could do, which he may or may not know, is that he could really just run over his units to the power farm, and he would get a full bash with the combination of his Tzeentch Dreadnought, his Chaos Space Marines, as well as the Heretics. He would really get a full generator bash off if he goes and does that now. He could also get a cap off on this natural, the natural VP. Instead, he's going for these strike squads. If he uses maybe some combination of Warp Fire along with the Chaos Heretics, very, very smart. He's going to definitely wipe. He's gonna wipe at least one model, possibly more than that. 2 models down, and now we have a strike squad in a really bad position. So now it would be the time to move the Dreadnought down, see if you can finish off that last model. Probably not, though. Still has a lot of health. Over here, we have Whitehead engaging Storm of Steel. Looks like Storm of Steel has lost a unit. I swear I thought he had another one. And wow, we have a flank with his Dreadnought on Storm of Steel's AV. So good play by Whitehead. I missed most of it following Stybek, and kind of following Stybek, not even engaging much. Now, the Dreadnought needs to turn around, go for that Warboss, and he does take him out. And I was about to say he needs to watch out for that Warboss, because the Warboss, and here we go, Stybek is actually going for a cap. I think he should go for a decap, but continue to bash the rest of the generators. Stybek already in tier 3, both cast everyone in tier 3. Wasn't even paying attention, but Stybek in tier 3, and the first one to work on a unit. He's not bashing. I guess he wants to capture the point. Now, I mean, if you capture the point, that means that the blue team would be getting that power income. Oh, I think this cast Dreadnought is going to go down. A Land Raider Crusader drop right here, and that Dreadnought goes down. Oh, this is going to be really bad for these heretics. I don't think it's a good idea to use that Touch of Nurgle when they are so isolated. They're already at 4 out of 9 models, and we have a Land Raider Crusader in its retreat path. Not that a Land Raider Crusader is the best at retreat killing, but yeah, so that's possibly going to be a dead Heretic squad. Let's see if what the Land Raider Crusader could do. If the Land Raider Crusader still had the frag assault ability, that definitely would have been a wipe on those cast heretics. As it is, looks like the Aspiring Champion gets out of there, but still definitely quite a bit overextended. But we now have Predators from both players. Whitehead is going for Zinch, and why does Whitehead have his Predator all the way over here? Meanwhile, Stybek is going for Khorne. Has to watch out for all the AV coming out of Storm of Steel. He does. Oh, this is really, really bad. Not a good place to drive that Predator. Decent idea to. Oh, and now we have a Rocks. Definitely a good Rocks by Storm of Steel. Takes out Stybek's Predator. Might also take out Stybek's cast Dreadnought, especially with all these, with all the AV coming out of Storm of Steel. Well played by Storm of Steel. Very, very nice. Wow. So huge losses for Stybek. Nicely played by Storm of Steel. But Whitehead still has. He still has that. So Whitehead still has his las cannon as well as his las cannon Predator. He still has to watch out because in fact, pretty much all of Storm of Steel's AV is still on the field. He's still got all of it on the field. He needs to be very, very careful. He's getting some repairs. Whitehead, or Stybek, now has some Plague Marines. The Plague Marines should actually tie up the tank buses to prevent Whitehead's Chaos Predator from taking damage. I love it when I say, like, they should do this, and then the players do it. It means they know their stuff. This Predator is in a huge amount of trouble. Doom Blast one of those last models. Yeah, good idea. Again, they're doing exactly what I'm saying they should do. No. Drive the wrong way with the Predator. All right, and now we do have some Tome of Subjugation. Come on, Whitehead, get the Predator out of there. And this is actually Stybek's Heretic that was actually repairing Whitehead's Predator, so some good team play. Whitehead, get the Predator out of here. But over here, it looks like we have a partial health Land Raider Crusader. Needed to get some repairs, so that means Dirty Pyrex needed to get a fresh Stormtrooper squad to start repairing it. So, a lot of things going on all sides of the map. We have this Land Raider Crusader bashing generators. I feel like there are better things a Land Raider could do than bash generators. We have a Luda squad that nearly goes down. This could be an opportunity by Stybek to use Dark Flames, but he's probably not looking over here because it's not in his lane. It is very difficult to get a nice Dark Flames in a team game on a unit that's like not in your lane. But it looks like Whitehead did lose his Predator, so Predator's going down. Level 3 Luda squad must be taking out a lot of those vehicles. Let's take a look at the levels. Level 3 shooter boys on 2 level 3 shooter boys, level 2 tank busters. We have level 2 strike squads, level 3 havocs, and you never see that. And some fresh Terminators getting lightning claws, probably to deal with knobs. And between Tome of Subjugation and these lightning claw Terminators, Stybek certainly has answers to knobs. The Plague Champion, Whitehead, certainly has some answers of his own with the Pestilent Strike. And this is kind of sad. We actually have... Oh! So we have some subjugated strike squads. And he actually should have started force meleeing. Wow! Very, very nice by Stybek. Wow! Brutal. So very well played. Again, with that huge energy pool that he's getting, we got a level 7 Sorcerer. So Stybek is doing very well with the Sorcerer, but he needs to get him out of there. He's going to actually lose the Sorcerer now, probably. He does actually do a Summoning Circle as well as the Dark Flames. I don't like that Dark Flames. He's not going to get much out of using that. But the Summoning Circle is a pretty good idea. He's absolutely murdering the knobs right now on the power of the Summoning Circle combined with those Chaos Terminators. If he has a teleport ready, he could probably take out those knobs. We need some follow-up from Whitehead as well. So Whitehead does actually help to take out the knobs. We have another Rocks from Storm of Steel. Unfortunately, this Rock's not quite as good. It does take out a Terminator model, but still not a huge amount out of that Rocks, I think. And we have Terminators from both players. Whitehead is also going for Lightning Claw Terminators of his own, and I mean, it'll certainly give them really what they need if Storm of Steel tries to get more knobs, or if Dirty Pyrex tries to go for Paladins or Grey Knight Terminators. Although, I feel like it could have been nice if both players have Terminators, it would have been nice if one of them had gotten the autocannon, which would have been much more helpful against this looted tank now. So that's actually a good choice by Storm of Steel to get that looted tank, because it would actually be able to kite the Terminators, something that would actually be pretty effective against the Terminators. And then he just has to worry about the Havocs. Meanwhile, Whitehead's level 3 Las Cannon got very close to dying right there. How often do you see a level 3 Las Cannon Havoc? Means that they've been taking out vehicles. So yeah, I missed it, but right before that, Stybek's Sorcerer went down. He really did a beautiful job combining that subjugation, then following up with the Rod of Warfire after and taking out an entire strike squad. Should have force meleeed from the start with his strike squad. Oh, that's going to be really, really bad. And those strike squads are just absolutely getting murdered by these Chaos Terminators. Now, Stybek is going for a decap. Now, again, I think he should fully destroy the power. If you try to capture it in your favor, I mean, you do get that extra power income, but that extra power income right now is not really going to be that important, I think. I think it would be better to deny your opponent future power income, as well as forcing them to spend requisition if they want to get it back. And I mean, as we see right now, if you look at the resources, every single player is low on requisition, and that tends to that's something that tends to happen late in the game. Early on in the game, the issue is power. You need power, and if you suffer early generator bashes, you can really lose the game purely on that. Now, in the late game, power tends to become a lot less important. All players right now are floating power, but they don't have enough requisition. So later on, requisition becomes more important. And of course, also, if you are destroying a power farm, even late in the game, you also get the red for it. Now we have Chaos Terminators. These must be new Chaos Terminators, which leads me to believe that Whitehead has lost his original squad of Chaos Terminators since he's putting Lightning Claws on this squad. Whereas I thought he had already had the Lightning Claws. So Sorcerer's back up for Stybek. Yeah, Storm of Steel is overextending these Terminators. They do not want to be retreating. I mean, he's overextending his knobs. He does not want to be retreating through Terminators. This must have been a laggy game. Oh my god. Double Terminators from both players is going to be at... Oh my, Storm of Steel. Oh man. So, Storm of Steel one of the things Storm of Steel could do to help deal with the Terminators is maybe get, yeah, Hell Fury Strike on Terminators is a horrendous idea. Gotta be honest. He could potentially get a Weird Boy. Now, that would help with the stun, especially since Terminators cannot retreat. They cannot do anything about getting stunned. They just need to straight up wait it out and hope to not die while they're stunned. Now, the risk of getting a Weird Boy, of course, is the fact that the Terminators could teleport in on the Weird Boy, and he could actually just straight up get wiped, especially if you don't react fast enough. And the reaction times on dealing with these cast Terminators have seemed a little slow from Dirty Pyrex as well as Storm of Steel. Now, Dirty Pyrex has gone for Paladins, which I think is not really a great choice. With the heavy melee damage that they have, probably would have been better off getting Grey Knight Terminators, since those would have probably done a little better against the Chaos Terminators. Now, as it is, he's using Paladins against Chaos Terminators when they are relatively low on health, but they're still, I mean, the Chaos Terminators still just straight up winning. So we saw right there, unfortunately, slow reactions from Stybek, not retreating that Havoc Squad out of there. Level 4 Havoc Squad, I would like to see that stay alive. Level 4 Havoc Squad, we actually have user choppas on the Paladins, but not actually a good call by Storm of Steel, because Stybek really can't afford to reinforce, I mean, not Stybek, yeah. Dirty Pyrex really can't afford to have those Paladins fight any longer. So another subjugate to get the Paladins off the, to get the knobs off the Chaos Terminators. Now, additionally, these Chaos Terminators were fully reinforced, I think, from that Summoning Circle Global, but they have no health, so they should actually go back to base anyway to restore their health. The Sorcerer can't heal. The Plague Champion really can't heal enough, so I think these Chaos Terminators should go back to base. They're actually going to die from the Bro Captain, so that was actually, this has actually been a very, very nice play from Dirty Pyrex. Send the Bro Captain in there, capitalizing on the Terminators having very, very low health. I don't know why we had the sudden lag from my computer. And wow, so dead Chaos Terminators. Storm of Steel has also lost a lot of things. I was watching his Terminators, but he's got double knobs, but he lost his looted tank and lost whatever other infantry units he had. But Stybek just obviously clearly overextended his Chaos Terminators right there. Really should have brought them back to base. So a little disappointing to see him lose Chaos Terminators that way. Now, Stybek has gone for a lot of squads of Chaos Space Marines. We have one that actually does not have any mark. And we have another one that's immediately getting a mark. And this one's getting a mark. So that's actually pretty smart by Stybek. So Stybek, I definitely see that he's got a lot of knowledge, definitely a lot of Chaos knowledge as well as Sorcerer knowledge. And of course, as followers of Tzeentch, we are dedicated to the pursuit of knowledge. But yeah, double Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines, it's something that's actually very, very powerful, and particularly good for dealing with something like those Paladins. Now, here we actually see that the Terminators have been stunned, and as I said, they really can't do anything except to wait out the stun. Unfortunately for Storm of Steel, the Warboss died anyway. Dirty Pyrex and Storm of Steel, not really in a great situation in terms of units. They have had a VP lead. I haven't even been paying attention to the VPs since the action in this game has really been quite fantastic. And Whitehead is actually, he's actually kind of reminded me, like, sometimes when we played, he asked me, like, oh, did you get my game? And I kind of see why, since he submits some good games. Whitehead also definitely provides some good descriptions that kind of help me actually select this game. Like he said things like lots of Chaos Terminators, Sorcerer, I don't know if he actually said Sorcerer shenanigans, but he just gave me some highlights about some things that actually would make me want to cast this game. And I totally missed an Imperial Abyss, apparently killing Knob Squads. So VPs are fairly close. I'd say it's looking good for the double cast team. Looks like this full generator bash going to go down right here. We have a Land Raider Crusader still alive. I don't know what it's been doing. I guess it's just been kind of focusing on this VP right here, and that's probably had to do with the fact that why the blue team has been struggling on VPs, despite winning a lot of engagements, probably winning more engagements, and I mean they have more of the units. Storm of Steel has now lost 2 Knob squads. I think that was from the Imperial Abyss. Storm of Steel is calling the GG. I think Stybek should actually move up here to follow up, help out Whitehead take out this Land Raider Crusader. Now, one of the things that's not going so well for them is that both players are now committing they have their entire armies committed to the left, and that's allowing the red team to actually get a cap on the middle VP. So it's actually going to be a 2-cap in favor of the red team, which is kind of what they need. Whitehead should stop chasing that Land Raider Crusader. So the red team is going to get a decap off. I mean, the red team is going to get a double cap. They're really lacking units, but they are. Oh, this looted tank just might go down. No, I thought the autocannon was going to open fire. We have Touch of Nurgle on the cast Terminators of all units. I don't know if that's going to help them that much, but they are nevertheless roughly drawing even, and I think they will eventually win against those Paladins. So as I said, those Paladins, you get a lot of versatility out of their heavy melee damage, but they aren't going to be able to stand up to other Terminators. And the Paladins go down. I think they teleported out. Yes, this Paladin teleported out, but died as he teleported. But it's still quite a battle over the VPs. The blue team doing so well in so many situations. We also have a switch of the War Gears, now Robes of Torment, and he's level 10. A level 10 Sorcerer doesn't even need the Demon Armor for that extra energy, since he's got a massive amount of energy. Very impressed with Stybek's Sorcerer play, in fact. And wow, we have some knobs that are just straight up capturing under Frenzy. Very, very smart. Pestilence Strike here, I don't even think would... Oh! Wow, that's actually really bad for those knobs, and that actually forces the knobs off. Very well played by Whitehead, using that ability from the Great Unclean One. Wow, we're going to have dead knobs. Wow. So that's a total of 3 knob squads down, and now this is going to be a dead Land Raider Crusader as well. Great Unclean One, walking up to it, going to take it out. And actually a concede from the red team because they have nothing, and Dirty Pyrex was about to lose his last unit. This Land Raider Crusader at 14 health. That was an awesome game. Hope you enjoyed the cast. I know I did. Have a good night.